everybody? You're watching 4th and 5, the morning Huddle. We're ready to rock and roll. Now, drop my phone. Y'all heard that, huh? Let's get into what's on the menu for everybody here today. We're going to take a look at Frank Fletcher, how he had a nice little workaround when it came to paying players on the team. We're going to take a look at some portal updates as well. We're watching 4th and 5. We got you covered here on this. What is today, fellas? Wednesday? New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, Wednesday, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. Here we go. I am on location at Josh Throne's house. Okay, so here we are. It's going to be a fun one. We're upstairs. If you hear a little echo, it's because we're sitting right next to each other. Hopefully, that won't be the biggest issue moving forward. But fellas, let's get into what everybody has going on today, and that is talking about, once again, NIL is such a huge thing, yet once again, always seeming to be an issue, ongoing, as always. Everybody's up and rolling in the chat. Give me some updates. Now, we were kind of rushing this morning. We didn't have time to check the stream. So if it's glitchy, if you can't hear, let us know now so we can fix that as soon as possible. But it looks like everything seems to be going A-OK. I think it is. I guess we'll take a look about that here in a second. But, fellas, how y'all doing this morning? I know how Josh is doing. We're both tired. We had a late night last night. But, Grant, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I had a late night myself. We had to get some stuff knocked out around here. You know how it is. Laundry, all the chores, man. We got kids. It's tough, but we're here. I'm a little bit, my eyes are a little dry, but I'm good. I'm hanging in there.
Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm getting something from somebody saying that there is no video at all. Now that would be a new one because we're looking at the stream right now, and somebody just said we're good. How's everyone this morning? Razorback Pride said they're up and watching. We're good. A little echo, but not bad. So that echo is going to come
good
from Josh just sitting right behind me. Okay, so as long as I'm kind of chill, then we'll be good. Or we can get Josh a better mic. Josh, I thought you had better equipment than this, man.
Man, believe it or not, you're echoing, and I still had my mic muted, DJ, so I don't want to hear that it's on me.
Oh, it's on.
Oh,
so you trying to put that
wow.
on me? All right, you're getting messages, but hold on. Now, got it. Okay, perfect.
Josh is out here pulling that Zoom Teams corporate stuff when you're in the same room. Mute, volume down, off, mute, out.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, Josh, bring it, man. Bring it big time, okay? Because that would be awesome. So this is what we got for everybody today. Something popped up quite interesting. This is going to be an article from our friends over there at Best of Arkansas Sports. Andrew Hutchinson did a really good job with this article, and I believe he was on it with someone else. I can't remember the name at the second, but I suggest y'all go over there and read this full article. But something popped up when it came to NIL. Frank Fletcher. All right, we know he steamrolled not only Coach Petrino's payroll, but also Talon Green as well. Now he has some new players, and I'll say Quincy Rhodes, he's going to maybe get this treatment as well. So a lot of people are sometimes just kind of back and forth about this NIL stuff, but I really like the way that he kind of broke all this down. So to kind of give you the cliff notes of this, once again, I would head on over to Best of Arkansas Sports to check this out. But what he did and how he paid Talon Green is no longer acceptable in the NCAA. Okay, so he had somewhat of a workaround to come to an agreement to pay Talon Green his money, and it was going to be quarterly. Okay, and so he was essentially being paid as an employee from Frank's dealership. And unless I'm reading that wrong, but that was the workaround to kind of pay him what he wanted to pay him, because nowadays everything has to go through a clearinghouse. The clearinghouse is going to review all of these NIL marketing deals, and they're going to see if it justifies the amount of work that they're doing and the value makes sense when it comes to the dollar amount that they're getting. Okay, so sometimes these people who have these $3 million NIL deals and they go do a book signing for one day and they get a $3 million check, that stuff probably won't get approved anymore. Okay, so but the way Frank did it, but I also think it was really awesome because I think Frank is what we hope most of these kids run into when it comes to a partnership in the NIL world. He also added another element to this agreement and contract that Talon's dad saw and read, that Talon read, and he had an agreement that along this way, as long as I'm paying you, you're going to meet with me, and I'm going to be your mentor when it comes to learning stuff, when it comes to life after football. He also required Talon to do homework. Frank would send him homework sheets when it came to learning about the stock market, being up to date on finances, and Talon literally had to do his research, do the homework, and send it back into Frank Fletcher. And that was the agreement in the contract. And we've talked about, fellas, like nowadays, these kids just aren't getting the necessary things that they need while moving forward to advance beyond football, beyond the field. And I love it, but that's no longer going to be a thing. So as I bring everyone in this article, this is where it gets interesting to kind of dig a little bit more into the NIL and how all this is kind of working out for a lot of these teams nowadays. This new clearinghouse is the attempt of the NCAA to somewhat put a salary cap on all the teams that are getting revenue share. Okay, so
it's illegal, by the way.
Yeah, and so this is what they're trying to do is by approving what they believe this value is with these NIL deals, and sometimes they'll approve deals, sometimes they'll not. Some teams, their way to work around it is there's been cases of teams not putting stuff on the books. They make all these verbal agreements, and then they try to break up these payments into smaller amounts to avoid, I guess, a red flag like, whoa, $1 million? We need to look a little bit further into that one. You've had some collectives decide to go ahead and pay out the entire freshman class as they were recruits so they can avoid that money going against the rev cap for the players on the team. I mean, so people are always trying to find this third lane, which they reference in this article as well. But I had to commend Frank for that. I thought that was awesome, and what he was doing for that kid as far as that grown man in Talon. I wish more people in the NIL were more like this, about investing more in these kids' future and not just the play on the field. But very interesting when it comes to what the NCAA is trying to do with this clearinghouse of trying to level the playing field between all these teams. Do you think it'll work?
Go ahead, Grant.
Do I think it'll work? I don't know. I get maybe the spirit behind what they're trying to do in the sense of you're taking the richest of the rich NIL teams and maybe trying to dumb that down, and then the ones that don't have as much, bring them up to continue that level of competitiveness. But I mean, at the end of the day, to Josh's point, it's a free market. It's fair market value. And, just because, someone pays me X amount of money to do a job doesn't mean the next company doesn't value that more than the company I'm at today. And so, that's how all of it works. I mean, that's literally how you market yourself. And so, if someone said, you know what, 4th and 5 is so awesome, I'm going to give them X amount of dollars, and somebody else came along and said, nope, I think they're worth 10 times more than that, I'm going to give them 10 times more than what you said. That's that person's decision. And who are we, or who is the NCAA for sure to say that, Frank Fletcher or whomever decides that they want to donate money to, or, do cut an NIL deal with Talon or whoever they want to, that they don't feel like it's worth the money. That's their money. It's not the NCAA's money. It's their money that's going to forward their business and do all these things. So that's part of it. That's my feelings on that. The second part of it is I think it's incredible what Frank Fletcher was doing. If that's how that structure of that deal was, where and I talked about it yesterday on the morning show, I think we've got to dive in and give these guys a financial backing or a financial education and backing during that, because you're giving 18 to 23, 24-year-old kids millions of dollars a year. I'm 36 now, and I'll tell you, if you gave me that money, I'm still making some dumb decisions probably.
No doubt.
So, I know they are. And I think there's got to be, I love the homework stuff. I love all of that piece of it. So I'll kick it over to Josh. I know he's probably chomping at the bit to get into this conversation. This is right up his alley.
Well, I think if you're the NCAA and you want to control what every single player can make off the field, or you do want to control it, because you want to hold the right to be able to say no when you think you can say no, or you should say no. So that's controlling the game. If you want to be able to control that, you got to write out an employment contract. But the NCAA does not want to sign these guys up to an employment contract because they're not professionals, fellas. We got to keep remembering that. They're just adults that are not employed by the NCAA. But then the NCAA wants to control their lives as if they are employed and they sign an employment contract. And you can't do that. You literally can't do that. The NCAA cannot collude with whoever and decide that Grant Cook and DJ Williams, you can't make that money because we don't think you'd be able to make that money. You're not worth that. In the United States, there are laws that protect from big organizations, big conglomerates, to set the dollar amount that you can make in a fair market. You can't do it. And so every single time this has gone to court, the NCAA loses. The only way that this issue is solved is for the NCAA to make these guys employees, which then makes this a professional sport, and then they can put in whatever they want into those employment contracts. But until that happens, yeah, man, they're just trying to put guardrails on it, and every single time that it gets tested, they lose. In regard to what Frank Fletcher was doing, awesome. I think more people should start to put that type of stuff into their contracts. I think that shows that Frank Fletcher's a good guy, cares about this kid much more than just the game of football and what he could do for Arkansas. He's like, hey, if I'm going to put this amount of money in your pocket, I want to make sure you're set up for life, because this is life-changing money if you don't blow it, if you invest it the right way. And who wants to see that type of money go in anybody's pocket and then just end up losing it? So I love that.
We got some comments coming in the chat right now. They're asking about Frank. Does he donate? Somebody said yes, he donates big, not just to players, but to the team as well. Jim Gum, leveling the playing field is great, but someone will find a way around it, as they always have. This ain't going to be nothing new. Johnny Vincent wants to know, is Josh a lawyer? All right. And
he thinks he is.
The thing about Josh, I'll give him credit. My dude does his research. I think he has some form of I don't want to say that. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Just in case, yeah. He's locked in on it, okay? He's locked in on it.
This stuff is public knowledge. You can go read about it if you'd like to.
So he does his research, and I do want to talk about something again before we move on. Yesterday, man, we hit a nerve with some people with what we talked about when it came to the taxes, and we had a couple senators go watch our stuff and repost our stuff, making sure that they let their constituents know that I did not vote for these players not to pay for taxes. We've had people go back and forth with us all day long. Josh was a little bit more active on social media than Grant and I. That's just Josh's world right there. But I got another message. You know, JJ Metters came out and said something as well. That was interesting. And then I saw another response, and he said, I respect all three of you guys. Usually when it starts with that, then you know something's coming, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, but it was very well done. He talked about when it comes to taking advantage and helping this team get to the right spot, and it's an incentive to maybe help our players pick this school instead of another school. It instinctively, or what's the word? It will by default just help this football program. And it was Jonathan Williams, former running back for Arkansas. And I think one thing that I think a lot of people lost in that, we are not bothered at all if these kids get financial opportunities and breaks. The thing is, when it comes to legislation, when it comes to impacting people here in your state, because you got to think, when we all go to vote, we vote for people who are going to look out for not just a group of people's best interests, but for everybody's best interest. Okay. And so when it comes to the government being involved in that level, that's where we were kind of like, oh, this is just kind of a bad look. If you're going to do this and give the tax break, great, but give it to everyone. I think that's just the difference. And it's not so much about, oh, it's not fair. Oh, it's not this. It's just when laws get involved and things go between the House and the Senate and the floor, and they get passed as legislation and goes into effect, then it starts getting into this area that they cannot just single out. It's almost like you're giving tax breaks. You know, they do tax breaks to small companies that start up. The purpose of that is to make sure that these guys get tax breaks and they can give people jobs, and then those jobs will then give these people money. Then those people then can go pour that money into the economy. Okay. Same nonprofits, they get all these breaks. They do all this, and it's about helping. But you have to at least entertain this thought process of, okay, these kids technically don't need a tax break. We're trying to get into this realm of letting our legislators put their, I guess, hands into the mix of trying now to be competitive as a football team. And we think there's just a line there. I think that's what we were getting at. So it's not so much about oh, it's fair that they do this and do that. The legislation thing is, I think, what we were trying to drive home yesterday.
Yeah, to me, DJ, it's much more. You did a good job explaining that. There's a separation of what they say, like separation of church and state. There should be a separation of football and state. Like this, there's so many people that don't care about football. And I'm glad the kids are getting paid. I wish y'all got paid in college. Everybody knows I wasn't getting an NIL deal, but I wish you guys would have gotten that. I'm happy that this is where we're at. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that we're here, but I want players to get paid, period. And I don't want the NCAA to tell Taylor Green that Frank Fletcher giving him $1 million. I don't know what he gave him. He's giving him $1 million. That's not a good thing. What I have an issue with is that if you're giving a tax break to high income earners, there's a lot of people right here in Arkansas that are struggling to get Christmas presents, that are struggling to pay their bills. That on a $30,000 income W-2, they're probably going to make $700, call it approximately, in state taxes that year. $700 when you're struggling to buy Christmas presents for your family is a lot of money when you're a mom, when you're a dad, when you're somebody who's just check to check. So you can't go give it to the high income. This is just principle. And I stand on the principle that high income earners in our state government shouldn't be given tax breaks. That's all I'm saying. I get the reasoning why they wanted to do it. I understand that. But think about this. Here's my issue with it. We've got to go to the Arkansas state government to give a tax break for a guy. So let's say they made $1 million. That's going to save them. That's going to give them approximately $30,000 to $40,000 in state tax breaks. So we move the needle $30,000 to $40,000. And that's what we're saying is determining whether or not they go to Texas over Arkansas, or Tennessee over Arkansas, or Florida over Arkansas. If we can't get 30 or 40 more, 30 or 4,000 more dollars in order to land a player, or if that's what's holding him up, well, after taxes, you're going to take home $960,000. But at Florida, you'll take home a full $1 million. I don't think that's where we're at. So I don't even think that that's moving the needle a lot. We're in a state that makes more money and has more money come through this state, bigger businesses, bigger donors than almost every single state in the country. Now, you can make the argument that there's a couple of states that compete with us when it comes to money, but there's more money in the university's back door and more billionaires right here that could help the university. So I have a problem with our leadership at the university not going out and figuring out how to land that support. That's what Arkansas has done. Texas Tech has figured it out. Florida's figured it out. Texas A&M has figured it out. LSU clearly figured it out. You saw what Lane Kiffin flew in on. Those boys got a lot of money down there. So I don't want to hear that we've got to come up with laws that aren't fair to the regular guy, but fair to high income earners in order to give us a $30,000 or $40,000 difference on $1 million guy. I ain't hearing that. Our leadership better go out and land some big money. And if you can't do that, that's the world we live in. We might need new leadership. That's all I'm saying.
And I think it's also to note the state tax. It's what's the point? Where does it go? I think 3.9% when it comes to Arkansas state tax on this alleged $25 million. Math. I'm not the best math guy, but Josh,
pretty much $1 million.
Yeah. The state's missing out on essentially $1 million to put towards stuff that the state needs. Okay, so some people say that's not a big number in the grand scheme of things. Some people would say it could make a big difference depending on some things. All right, fellas, let's move along. Let's talk about a new thing that popped up. Portal is open Friday. A lot of people are starting to take notice of potential guys in the portal. Okay, Silverfield, he says he's here. Who's coming back? Who's not? We don't know. But we knew one thing, that quarterback KJ Jackson was up there and he says, I'm all in. But now it's time to go to work, KJ, because these names are starting to pop up. Jalen Rayner, big-time quarterback over there at Arkansas State, enters the portal. A lot of people think Arkansas has their eye on him. Okay, competition, iron sharpens iron. We all remember that big old quarterback from Memphis that we couldn't take down at the end of the game. Well, he has 4 years of eligibility left. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, highly touted recruit playing for Silverfield in Tim Cramsey last year. Coaching change, he enters the portal. Where is he going to land? Here we get into it, fellas. I got to ask, one thing that I don't want us to have is, yet again, going into a season, going into fall camp, going into the opening of week 1, and a coach say, hey, they're really battling out in practice right now, and we're going to see who the number 1 guy is towards the end of camp. How soon do you think a team should know who their number one quarterback is when it comes into preparing for a football year. I think now is the time to start the grind, start the practice. But I feel like anytime you start getting these questions, we don't know who's going to start week one. I think it's important for a team to know that. But thoughts on this? KJ, would you assume that since he said I'm all in, I'm coming back, had the meeting with Silverfield, do you think it's his job to lose? Or is this still something that he has to start from the starting blocks and win this thing?
Well, I'll tell you this. I think that you remember what it was like when Coach Petrino came in. People, the coaching staff under Coach Nutt knew exactly who was talented, who went where, what they did well. Spring practice is going to be one again. And, do I think obviously KJ has some really good film toward the tail end of last year? Absolutely. But this is a whole new ball game. You're going to have to learn a new offense. You're going to have to learn how the coaches coach, what they want to see, how they want you to play, all of those things. And so I think it's going to be like the spring of 2008, and we're coming back in, and everybody's having to learn everything all about each other all over again. And so you better come bring in the heat. And if you bring in a transfer quarterback, I don't think it's just like, hey, yeah, for sure, KJ, that's our quarterback. We're moving on. I think he's going to have to prove himself. To answer your first question, I think after spring and then especially through summer workouts, you start to see who emerges as kind of those team leaders. Assuming that KJ has a really good spring and emerges as a team leader and a vocal guy through the summer, then I think that he is probably the clear starter going into camp. I do hate that as well, where you come in, there's 2 or 3 quarterbacks, and you're like, well, we don't know. And I don't know how much of that is actually just like, we're not going to name one. We kind of know who it's going to be, but we're just not going to say it out loud yet. But I think it's probably KJ, if he checks those 2 boxes, I think it's his to lose going into the summer.
Well, do you think this maybe changes a little bit with NIL after we talked about the numbers of what these kids are getting? Because they got to figure that stuff out now. Who's getting paid the $1.5 million? Who's going to be that backup salary at $700,000? Don't you think these contracts would kind of nod to these players? Okay, that's the guy. If that's where they're investing their money, that changes a lot.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that at this point,
Grant don't like that, huh?
well, no, yeah, but that's
okay, pay me $1 million and start me, and the dude behind me's better.
I get it. It's just, what do you do?
That's so dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
that's why it works better in the NFL, right? Because you're locked under a 4-year, 5-year contract, and if you do invest that money in that guy, you're going to get him. We got to solve the transfer portal stuff ASAP. I'm hoping that's solved before start of next season, because you can't, as KJ, you can't sit there and believe that you have the job. Us as fans, we can't sit there and look at the team and go, oh yeah, it's KJ's job to lose. Whoever gets invested in, that's the indicator of that's whose job it is. And I think we'll find out who gets invested in by what portal quarterbacks end up coming here, because you don't enter the portal to take no money from any school. So it's going to be interesting to see who we invest in. Is Arkansas in a position where you can get like that Memphis quarterback, for, gosh, this is crazy, $1 million, and then also have a KJ on under contract for $1 million, and then now you have a fair competition? I don't know, but something to think about. What if KJ is interested in going and playing with Bobby Petrino? He liked that offense. He was doing well there. He could enter the transfer portal if Silverfield brings someone in. So I think all these players are, just as much as we're sitting back going like, I wonder what's going to happen. I think KJ's in there. He wants the job. He wants to see where it goes. But the second some sort of quarterback portal NIL deal happens, then all of a sudden you go, I got a portal opportunity as well. Let me see what happens post-spring.
Could you imagine if a team is losing and it comes out that they've been playing players that were worse than the players that were behind them, but you didn't know that because the other ones never played, and it's like, we were paying them the money, guys. What do you want us to do?
Some people think, I don't know if that's the case, but some could have an argument that happened last year. Some people would say it. It is what it is.
The cure to that is winning football. Because if you're winning football games and you replace someone and you continue to win football games, I don't think donors are going to be upset. But if you're having a losing season and you've invested a lot of money in a guy and you bench him and you keep losing games with the replacement, that now we're gonna you're kind of handcuffed when you lose football. It's like you got to play the guy. We've invested a lot of money in him.
No doubt. Winning cures a lot of stuff.
John Matthews in the chat right now talking. We talked about this yesterday a little bit with what Trey Biddy and Richard Davenport were talking about. What the top at the top are getting. Said top 15 quarterbacks should get around $2.5 million. Top 5, $4 million plus, which we agree is insane. But once again, it's just the reality that, in my opinion, there's about 5, maybe 4 guys in all of college football who I would consider top tier program changing talent at the quarterback position. Okay. But you're going to have, at least in the Power 4, how many teams we got? 16 now? I can't remember. I mean, in the SEC? And times that by every other Power 4.
16.
We're going to have over 40 plus guys making over $1 million at the quarterback position that ain't worth it. What a time to be a college football player. Yeah,
man, I would be wanting to play quarterback so bad,
so bad, right? So bad. All right, y'all. Let's get into the other topic. Let's wrap this up. We got a few competitions. All right. Don't forget, we got tomorrow off. It's New Year's, so we got to get into the competition side of things. So we got our shot clock topics. I got 3 topics, and if you never played this before, this is how it goes. Somebody right now in the chat, you have to let me know who you think will win in the competition rounds. Today, we're going to keep score all the way through. I don't have my shot clock with me, so y'all help me keep count. All right, so these first ones, I got 3 topics. They don't know what it is. I'm going to hit them with the question. Then they got 45 seconds with the response, and that's the gist of it. So let's go ahead and figure out who we are playing for in today's shot clock. Josh is over there rubbing his hands, thinking that this is the day. Who won? You won last time, Josh?
Yeah,
I think you did.
Absolutely.
Would we guess a number at the end? Walter,
reigning champ is what that's what they call it.
You got pen paper over there? That fancy little setup you got? You ain't got a pen or paper?
I cleared some things off for you, DJ. I cleared some things off for you. I don't know what I did with it.
I don't like not having my notepad.
I'll take notes. I'll take notes. Don't worry.
Are you sure on that? You'll keep score? All right, I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah, I got him.
All right, let's get into our first shot clock. Okay, so Josh, can you see no, he can't see my screen. All right, we're good to go. I got to be careful. Y'all watch his eyes behind me, okay? First of all, let's figure out who we're playing for. Let's go. I need you to write this down, okay? Walter Barnes is playing. Grant, you're playing for Walter Barnes. Dang, they don't want to. Nobody wants Josh.
DJ or Johnny Vincent. He didn't give me a cheat sheet, brother. He wouldn't help me win.
We already played for Johnny. Johnny has a coffee mug coming on the way. I'll take G all the way. Dang, they're all taking Grant. So who did I say is playing for you, Grant?
We got smart fans, man. What do you want to say?
Smart fans. Walter Barnes is going to be Grant's going to be playing for you. I need somebody to pick Josh. Johnny, you already got a mug. I'm trying to spread the wealth, Johnny. Johnny, we like you, but we got to meet you, Johnny. Big supporter 4 through 5 right there. Johnny may get it if nobody, and they're still going with Grant. I love it. All right, Josh.
They watch this show too often.
Johnny, fine. All right, Josh, if I'm going to treat you the way that I treat Jim Gum on KARK, since I'm picking you, if Josh loses today, you're going to be banned from being eligible to play in our games for 3 weeks. Fair?
It's a lot of pressure, DJ.
Josh, you better step up to the table. All right, let's go ahead and get into the first topic. What do I
My
have?
pen ran out of ink, man.
Oh my gosh, what's going on? Okay, here we go. We've been talking about NIL, so I want to go ahead and get into this. First topic, and Josh, you'll go first since you won yesterday. If you could add one requirement to be put into all NIL deals, what would that one requirement be? Josh, your time starts now.
The one requirement would be that you cannot transfer schools. I would figure out a way to get real creative with that, because I think that the biggest issue in college sports right now is that these kids can transfer at a moment's notice. I think that that has messed up college football. There's no more commitment in college football. And if we can't pay for play, if that's illegal to be able to do, because it's still an amateur sport, we have to at least create some stipulations in the contract so that they are there with that team for an extended period of time. That levels the playing field for a lot of the situations, allows coaches to get back to being coaches and developing those players. And it also makes sure that those players, when they would take that money, that they've committed to fulfill that contract and to be with this team, which was the purpose.
All right, nice response. Nice response. Grant, your time to respond starts now.
All right, so I think that you should have to have some sort of curriculum that these players have to take, similar to what Frank Fletcher did with Talon, where they understand the value of a dollar. A lot of instances, these kids are coming from homes that don't make that kind of money. Heck, I don't make that kind of, I didn't come from a home that made that kind of money. There's not many people that do. So I think they have got to, before they can access the dollars, it needs to be put into a trust, and they have got to pass a financial well-being course of some sort. And I think that needs to be an annual thing or biannual thing, some sort of training where they can understand how to invest this to set themselves up for the rest of their lives. The type of money that we are talking about, especially for the top tier players, they're done if they do this right. They can have a unbelievable head start.
Come on.
I think what would be a bigger fix, not just for the individual, but all of college sports, I would go with Josh on that one. Josh takes that round. He's up 1. I would add a requirement. I want to pay for play type thing. I want a performance-based salary. I think that'd be great. Okay, you get here, you lay an egg. We're left tackle. We're going to start you off at $1 million. Okay, and then we're going to take off $10K for every sack you give up. You know, I mean, I would love that type of stuff. Tackles and everything, receptions, drop balls, interceptions. That would make people pay a little bit more attention to the job. And you talk about competitiveness when money's on the line, might as well, right? We're doing anything in the NCAA right now anyway. I know that.
I just think it's sad that you guys are more worried about like the stuff on the field. You're not actually worried about the kids that are making the money, and neither is anybody in the chat. So I see where y'all are. I'm more worried about the individuals.
Hey, look, DJ, I think that if there's a creative way probably to write a contract where you could make it a little bit more performance. I think some teams are doing this. Obviously, the worst part about this whole thing is that we don't get to see the contracts and like how they're really written and what the stipulations are. But if you were to say, hey, you're going to get paid this amount in this NIL deal, but if you win a particular award, or if you become a conference champion, then you get more money at that different point. So because
Hey!
The marketability for a conference champion, a conference champion is higher. So you could tie in. I feel like you could tie in some performance stuff without like it reading and being.
Do you know how much more show we get to squeeze into these next 9 minutes?
Well, I'm still just really sad that you guys are more worried about institutions than you are the individuals.
You're really going to be sad.
That's
now.
A big deal.
Your number one fan, Johnny Vincent, says Josh is my guy. He's my new favorite. Whoa. Look at that.
That's fine.
Are you dead to me? You're dead to me.
Thank you, Johnny.
All right.
Thank you.
Next one, college football playoffs going on. One interesting game, Texas Tech and Oregon. Which of these two coaches has more pressure on this matchup? Is it Dan Lanning or Joy McGuire? All right, so let's get into it. Josh went first last time. Grant, you're on the clock. Time starts now.
Like golf.
Oh, you're right. It is like golf. It is like golf. No, you're good. Josh, you're on it.
Sorry, I was on mute. Texas Tech's coach has the most pressure. There's so much money involved into that program right now. I mean, you've seen what their big donor, what's his last name? I can't remember, but they got a lot of money invested in that program, and they're going to want to expect a return on that investment. And in today's world, Texas Tech is going to have the most pressure on that game. Oregon, man, they've had Nike for the past 20 years, 30 years. I don't know how long Nike's been there. I think from their inception. But when you look at the amount of pressure that's on Texas Tech right now to perform with this new money that they've invested into it, absolutely the pressure's on for Texas Tech's coach.
All right, Grant, you're up next. Let's get into it. Your time starts now.
Yeah, so I think it's Texas Tech as well, and I think it's because they've injected so much money into this thing to get to where they are today. They're going to have a return on the investment, and the return is a national championship. And so if you talk about Joey McGuire and what they've done there at Texas Tech, arguably they don't do that without 25, 26, whatever $1 million is that my man Cody put into the program. Now, do I think that he's just going to say, all right, man, sorry, you didn't do it this year, you're out, I'm not donating anymore? No, I don't think that. I think that he's going to continue to do it, but there is an expectation there for Texas Tech to do something special this year. Now, they're on the way to doing it, but they haven't completed it yet. I would say maybe a little bit of pressure on Dan Lanning just because they are a really talented team. He needs to turn up, but I'm going to go with Texas Tech.
Yes, Josh, I know. I'll retract the last statement. I'll say y'all pretty much are on par for your argument there.
He took my argument and he plagiarized. He just reworded it and turned the paper in.
And I'll say this. I'm going to give the point to Grant Cook. Why, you might ask? Because he actually remembered the name of the guy who donated the $30 million. Y'all pretty much said the same thing. Grant drove it home a little clearer. It is what it is. All right. We're all tied up 1-1. Let's get into it. Here we go. This will be an interesting one. Okay. So y'all heard my boy Justin Acree yesterday go on his rant, but he has rants about everything. And so we're going to add a new element where we're going to talk about some of the things that just annoy people. And we're going to say which one is worse. And I want you to go ahead and plead your case. So this is one of Justin's biggest things. Which one is worse? Leaning that seat back on a plane or when people leave that cart behind in a parking lot at the grocery store? Okay. Which one is a bigger "you are the worst person ever" offense? All right. So Josh, actually Grant won. Grant, you're on the clock. Your time starts now.
Without a doubt, it is leaving a cart in the middle of the parking lot, man. Dude, it drives me crazy. I have watched multiple people, and I have gone and looked at them while they're in their car, grabbed their cart and taken it to the little buggy holder cart thing over there and made them watch me do it. I looked at them in the eyeballs the whole way. Now, leaning the seat back, obviously I'm a tall dude. My knees are shoved up in the seat anyway. You ain't leaning the seat back if you sit in front of me. There ain't no room. You have to break my kneecaps to get that done. Now, it's the cart thing, man. All that is like that's just pure laziness. Just take it back. It's 10 steps.
All right, let's get into it. This will be a fun one. Josh, your time starts now.
Look, have you ever seen the YouTube show or the guy on social media, the Cart Narc? It's definitely the cart. I watch those videos so much. It probably is the laziest thing that you can do. And if you're watching this show and you do this, we're gonna have some issues, because if you're on, if I catch someone doing that, I roll down my window and I go, "Hey man, was it a big deal? You can't push it 10 more yards. You just want to leave it right there. You're dinging up people's cars." There's a lot of issues and cause. And on top of everything, it's just, you worried about getting the steps in. You're that lazy. It's going to show over in every aspect of your life. If you're just reclining your seat in the airplane, I don't care about that. Even if you got a big fella like Grant back behind me, I'm going to take up a little bit of space. I'm going to let him know I ain't worried about you, Grant. I can lean back in the space, take a snooze. I don't care.
All right.
Take snooze, I don't care, needs to be retracted from the statement, please.
It's retracted. Look at this comment coming in. This is from Jonathan Armstrong. Leaning the seat back on a plane. I leave the buggy out all the time.
Jonathan's one of those guys. He's like, you know what? It's your job to come get it.
Oh, Jonathan.
Man, Jonathan, are you the one that pushes it into the little striped line area? You know, you just put it over there by a light pole.
No. Jonathan, he finds some grass or some mulch to kind of lock the tires in so it don't roll away.
God.
Take it back to the cart rack, man.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. I've seen somebody do it when they park right next to the thing. Oh, it makes me so mad.
Fellas, I hate to say it. I feel like that's a wash. I do.
I brought up the cart narc, and now everybody's going to go watch those videos and have a very, very good time watching it.
Guys, it is phenomenal.
All right, so I haven't seen the cart knock. So is Josh putting people on something pretty good?
The cart narc.
This is going to determine this point.
Tell them the truth.
If you're asking me to co-sign, I'm not saying nothing.
I feel like there's something there. So, Josh, I feel like you put a lot of people. You're going to put me on something special. Josh will give you the nod. Josh is up 2-1. All right. The cart,
Just
the
like
cart,
yesterday.
narc, the cart, narc.
Narc, like you're telling on somebody. Cart narc.
Time for day in history, fellas. It's a fun one today.
Roll.
Let's get into it. All right. Today, December 31st, New Year's Eve. There's some big headlines that happened back in the day. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, just make sure Josh can't see me back there. First topic, fellas, as we get this rocking and rolling. It is going to be Bank of North America. It's the first U.S. bank that opened. All right. What year did Bank of North America open in the United States? Who won that last round? Josh. It's on you.
When do we start building New York?
Oh, God.
I'm gonna have to go with
1530.
that picture. That picture did not look like people riding on horse and. I mean, it don't look like people are just traveling west. It looks like we're a little bit established. I'd say 1892.
Grant.
1891.
Oh my God!
Wow, we gotta figure this out, but it is what it is. You know how to play the game. Bank of North America opened up in 1781. 1781. Okay.
I was hoping he didn't say 17 something because that's actually where I wanted to go with it. But you know how it is.
I just didn't think that we had we had already set up banks and everything at that point.
It is tied up 2-2. Hey, today everyone have dessert to honor my 65th birthday.
Happy birthday, Jim Gum.
Happy birthday, Jim Gum, one of our biggest supporters. And take your carts to the cart corral. Stop playing around. You're going to make Jim Gum mad on his birthday. Johnny Vincent, don't let me down, Josh. Don't forget, Johnny, you're going to be banned from being eligible to play if we don't figure this out. We're all tied up. Next question. Are we ready? The first time a ball drops in Times Square to signal and ring in the new year. What year did this happen? Grant, it's on you.
1923.
Josh?
This side. 1924.
Correct answer is 1907. Grant gets the point. Oh, Grant takes the lead. Grant takes the lead. Hey,
My dad called me yesterday. He said, "Son, stop disappointing me."
hey. All right, last one. Grant's up 3-2. Let's talk about General Motors. General Motors became the first billion-dollar company here in America. All right, maybe the world. Pull this up real quick. Yeah, first billion-dollar company in the U.S. What year did this happen for General Motors? Grant, I'll start with you.
1959.
I think my granddad worked. My grandfather worked for GM in Michigan. Billion? 1958.
Correct answer is 1955.
Oh, man, we were close. I got to give us both credit on that one.
1955. It's all tied up. All tied up going into playlists. And I got the songs today, fellas. We got 3 songs. And you're going to know every single one of them. So today will not end in a tie. We're going to see who takes the lead after the first song. I'll say everybody playing right now, if this is your first time joining, I'm going to play an a cappella version of a song, and then they have to guess. The first one to guess it wins that, and they're going to be significant to this day in history.
Turn it up. This is 4th and 5's playlists.
Bum, bum. All right, let's get into it. First one, significance of this was, and I'll give you the year to give you some reference, okay? On this day, December 31st of 1970, A member of this band filed a lawsuit against his band to dissolve their partnership. Name this band. Are y'all ready? Oops, sorry. That was we're still a day in history. Let me turn that one off. Let me
Mozart.
name this band.
When I find myself in times of
Beatles.
trouble,
Beatles.
Mother
Grant with the nod.
Mary comes
It
to
is
me.
the Beatles. You got to be quicker than that one. Oh, yep, that was right. Paul McCartney. He's the one who sent out that request to dissolve the band. He says they're already playing separate anyway. Let's go ahead and finish this thing. Grant has a 1-point lead. Grant can win the game if he gets this next one right. Ooh. I got 2 here. I'm trying to figure out which one Josh has the best chance of getting.
That's not fair.
All right. This is going to be so fast. You're going to know it as soon as you hear it, okay?
Josh, I just want to tell you that Johnny Vincent's whole next month rides on the plane.
All right, y'all ready for this? This was the #1 charted song, December 31st of 2010. 2010. You better shoot it quick.
What do we got to know? The name of the song?
Give me the name of the artist.
Artist, okay.
This one I could say name and song, and y'all will both get it. I'll do that. I take that back. I'll take either one. Name of the song or artist. Okay. I'm trying to I'm giving you more opportunities here, Josh. All right. All right. Let's lock it in.
Wait. I got to know both name of the song and the artist.
No, one or the other.
One or the other. Whatever one comes to you first, and it's going to happen quick.
Okay.
Here we go.
You say that.
You don't have to feel
Miley Cyrus.
like a wasted space.
Nice.
You're original.
No.
Cannot
Oh,
be
Katy Perry.
replaced. What the future holds after a hurricane.
Oh man! Look. Come on! I'm trying my best. Yes.
Oh, fellas.
Walker Barnes, enjoy your new coffee mug. I hope you drink out of it every day all morning.
Johnny, I'm buying you personally a coffee mug, Johnny. I'm going to give you a gift certificate. Wright's Barbecue or something, man.
Makes sense.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Oh, look at Johnny. He done went mutiny on you. He's back in the comments. I'm back.
Oh, he's back on Grant. Oh no.
God, dog.
Wow. All right.
I thought I had it when I said Miley Cyrus.
Y'all both
Yeah, you
did.
jumped out there quick. I said, nice.
Obviously, #1 song, firework, New Year's Eve, fireworks going off. I was trying to give y'all every hint possible. Every hint possible. Wow.
All right, what's the last one? Let's play for the last one really quick.
Oh, you want to know what it was? All right.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Oh my God.
All right. Last one would have been.
No. Play the song.
Yes, that's what I'm about to do. Let me set it up. Can I set it up? In December 2023, this artist surpassed. I don't want to give all. That's a little too much giving away. All right, here we go. First one to name this artist. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
And how about this? Josh, if you can name the song, we will not ban Johnny for 3 weeks.
Ooh.
Let me throw down the chat just in case. All right, so they can't see now. Here we go. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
First one to name.
But this is gonna take
Taylor Swift.
He's so tall and
Name of the song?
handsome as hell. He's so bad, but he does it so well. I can see the end as it begins. My one condition is say you'll remember me standing in a nice dress, staring at the
You've heard it.
sunset.
My wife is going to kill me. She's going to
No.
kill me.
Nice.
Even if it's just in your
I don't get a point for knowing it's Taylor Swift.
Oh, well, no, you don't.
Yeah, you get a point. Johnny Vincent's still dead for 3 weeks.
Wildest Dreams. December 31st in 2023, Taylor Swift surpassed Elvis Presley for the most #1 weeks of any solo musician in history. To date, Swift has logged 68 weeks with the #1 album in America. She is only behind the Beatles at over 120 weeks, sitting at #1.
Well, DJ, I knew it was Taylor Swift. I've been watching the documentary with my wife every night before bed.
And you couldn't figure that
I can
song
tell you
out?
this. I didn't know when I thought it couldn't get worse, DJ cuts Johnny's legs out from underneath him and then puts them back on, puts them up there, and then slices them down one more time.
Look, Johnny's, help me out, Josh. And then killing
It
me.
got
You're
banned.
killing me, Smalls.
Johnny, I ain't got enough time. I don't have enough time to study this much.
Grant, who'd you play for again? Walter Barnes?
Walter Barnes.
Walter Barnes, send me a message on Facebook. That'd be the easiest way of your address, and we'll go ahead and ship your morning mug in the mail. We're off tomorrow. Happy New Year's, everybody. It's been a fun one. We'll be back.
Johnny, I got one of
Friday.
these coming for you, brother.
Dude,
You're gonna love this.
That's vintage.
Yep.
We don't make those anymore.
Yep. I might even throw a cool hockey puck in with it, just for good measure.
All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all watching 4th and 5. Like I said, Happy New Year. All right, y'all be safe out there. I got a partnership with Arkansas State Police, and I'll just say this one more time, okay? Go out, have a good time. We want you to have a good time. You can have as many drinks as you want, all right? Be an adult, you do you. We're not fun police here, but please have a plan in place, okay? Think before you drink. Don't drive sober or get pulled over. It's a message from Arkansas State Police. Too many options here, and now almost 2026. Uber, Lyft, taxi. You can cartwheel home for all we care. It doesn't matter. Just don't make a decision that's going to put you in a bad spot and impact not just your life, but people around you as well. So y'all have fun out there.
100%.
Appreciate y'all watching 4th and 5. Tomorrow's off. We'll see y'all Friday. Grant, are you out of town?
I'm out of town, man. I'm gonna be out of town for the next few days. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're working on a fill-in for Grant while he's gone. And when are you coming back?
I'll be back next Friday.
We're gonna need somebody to fill in for almost a whole week. Give us some suggestions, reasonable names, in the comment section. But I'm thinking about maybe reaching out to Alyssa Orange, seeing if she's available. Reaching out, I don't know, maybe to our other member of 4th and 5, Matt Harris. You know,
Maybe.
that could be a good option. You know, I try not to put too much on his plate. Also, Jordan Wicks. He's a pitcher in the Cubs organization who's back in town after wrapping up his season. Dude's awesome. He may be an option as well, but we'll figure it out. We'll keep things rolling. I guess we'll figure that out Friday. Thank y'all for watching 4th and 5. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.